Hi guys, today we're going to learn the next factoring case. Factoring trinomials of the type ax squared plus bx plus c by AC method. Okay, the name of the method is AC. This is the name of the method. Okay, to make difference between this case, this factoring case, and the previous, when we were factoring trinomials of the type x squared plus bx plus c, the difference is that A is here. And A is to indicate that we have a coefficient, a leading coefficient, of course different to 1. Okay, then here it's important to clarify that A must be different to 1. Because if A is 1, then we are not talking about this factoring case, we are talking about the previous. Factoring of the trinomial of the type x squared plus bx plus c without A. Okay? Okay, then I have here two examples. Okay? Then we have to analyze if these examples are according to the type of trinomial. Then 1, 2, 3 times is a trinomial. Second, A in this case is 3. Okay, then it's according to that trinomial. Here, of course, the leading coefficient is 8. Then it's according to that factoring case. Okay, guys, step number 1 to solve these kinds of exercises. First step, try to solve or try to factor by greatest common factor. But guys, that method or that step is for any case. Doesn't matter, any case. Always we have to try to factor by greatest common factor at the beginning. Always first. If it's possible, continue by other case. We have to continue. If it's not possible, then we have to stay there. Okay? Then in here, the step number 1, we find the greatest common factor if it's possible. Here, 3, negative 10, and negative 8. Of course, 3 is prime number, then it's not going to be possible to find the greatest common factor for numbers. X is here, and x is not here. Then x is not a common number. Then for this example, for this exercise, there is not greatest common factor. Then the first step, we can't just do the first step. But let's continue with the second one. Then the second one. The name of the method is AC because we have to multiply A and C. Okay? A, C. Then 3A is 3 and C is negative 8. And 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. Okay? Now, B in this case is negative 10. Then B is negative 10. And in a similar way for the previous factoring case, we have to find two numbers whose product is negative 24 and whose addition is negative 10. Okay? One more time. AC, A is 3 and C is negative 8 for this particular exercise. You have to multiply AC and the answer is negative 24. That number, AC number, that in this case is negative 24, you have to find two numbers whose product is AC and whose addition is B. That from the beginning was negative 10. Then, very simple, negative 12 and 2. Negative 12 times 2 is negative 24 and negative 12 plus 2 is negative 10. Okay, next step, step number 3. We have to rewrite the term in the middle using the finding terms. Then, the first term is exactly the same, 3x squared. The last one is exactly the same, negative 8. And the term in the middle, negative 10x, must be we have to rewrite using the finding numbers. Then negative 12x plus 2x. Negative 12 and positive 2. Of course, we have to write x because the term in the middle is x. Now, negative 12x plus 2x is negative 10x. Yes, then that means that we are not changing the polynomial. We are using a strategy to continue factoring. That's different. Now, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are working. We are solving in the process a polynomial. No, it's not a trinomial anymore. Then next step is continue the factoring process by grouping. If you remember my grouping, we have to create the groups. 3x squared minus 12x in the first group plus, it's always plus, the second group 2x minus 8. Next step by grouping is find the greatest common factor. Then for the first parenthesis is 3x. Okay, now 3x times 1 is 3x squared, of course it's x. 3x times 1 is negative 12x, of course it's negative 4. For the second parenthesis, greatest common factor is 2. That is not possible with variable because x is not here, that is not common. 2 times y is 2x, of course x, and 2 times y is negative 8, of course negative 4. Now, in the brackets, in the parentheses, exactly the same expression, the same binomial, then that's common, but we have to put it at the beginning. And what is not common in the second parenthesis? What is not common? 3x and plus 2. Okay, that's our answer. Guys, remember, if you want to check your answer, or you have to check your answer, sometimes you have to check your answers, then distributive property. And your answer, if you use distributive property, your answer must be the original polynomial. The original polynomial, okay? If not, because something wrong in your process. If your answer is the original polynomial, that means your factoring process was correct. Example number 2. One more time, guys. Step number 1. Try or factor by greatest common factor. In this case, of course, it's possible because all of them are even numbers. And the greatest common factor is 2. For variables, x here, but it's not here. Then it's just the greatest common factor is just 2. Then 2 times what is 8x squared? 4x squared, of course. Now 2 times what is 8x? Of course, is 4x. Now 2 times what is negative 6? Of course, is negative 3. Okay? 2 times 4x squared, 8x squared. 2 times 4x is 8x. And 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Step number 1, in the first example was not possible, then we have to continue with the second step. In here was possible, and in the same way, let's continue with the second step. Now, this number 2 is part of the final answer, then just keep it in your mind to put in the answer at the end. But let's be focused just in the trinomial inside, okay? Forgot the original polynomial, forgot these two, and be focused just in the trinomial inside of the brackets, okay? Then remember, by AC we have to multiply A and C. Then A is 4 and C is negative 3. Then AC is 4 times 3 and of course is negative 12. And B is 4, okay? Positive 4. Remember guys, we forgot the original polynomial and we forgot these two for a moment, okay? And we are focused just in the trinomial inside. A, C, 4 times negative 3, negative 12, and B is positive 4, okay? Then remember, you have to find two numbers whose product is AC, in this case negative 12, and whose addition is B, in this case 4. Then the numbers, I think they are really simple, are 6 and negative 2. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12, and 6 plus negative 2 is positive 4. That's it. Now, we have to rewrite the term in the middle, okay? Of course, remember that in the middle because the polynomial is organized in descending order. Then the first term is exactly the same for x squared. The last one is negative 3, exactly the same, and for x must be rewrite using the finding number. Then plus 6x, of course, minus 2x, of course. 6x minus 2x is positive 4x. Yes, then we are doing it the good way. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Then we have to use grouping. That's the next step. Use grouping. Then let's use let's make the groups. 4x squared plus 6x in the first group, plus in the second group. Remember, always respect the signs. Negative 2x and negative 3. Okay? Now, in here, the greatest common factor is 2. X is 2x. Then 2x times what is 4x squared? 2x. 2x times what is 6x? Of course, is 3. We got it. Now in here, in the greatest common factor here, this is negative and this is negative. Then the greatest common factor is negative 1. The negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x, and negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Okay? Now one more time. Inside the brackets, exactly the same. Then let's put it at the beginning, 2x plus 3, because it's the common factor. And what is not common in the second parenthesis? Why is not common? 2x, here, 2x, and negative 1, negative 1. Okay, and remember guys, remember, To check if our answer is correct, just use distributive property or FOIL here, and your answer must be the original. But before to finish the exercise, remember that this 2 was factoring from the beginning. Then this 2 is part of the final answer. Then what is the final answer? I'm going to copy here. Okay? The final answer is 2, that is was factoring from the beginning, times the first parenthesis here, 2x plus 3, times 2x minus 1. Okay, then if you multiply by this theory property, these two fractions, these two binomials, the answer must be this original polynomial, this one, inside of the brackets. It's one way to check. But in here, if you apply this theory property here, 2 times 2x, 2 times 3, and that answer times this binomial, 2x minus 1, then the final answer is going to be the original polynomial. Then, which polynomial you have to multiply by this theory property to check if your answer is correct? This one or this one? The answer is this one, because this one is the final answer. Is the final answer that when you multiply or you apply this theory property is the original trinomial. Okay? Be careful. Be careful, because if you check this one, you can say, oh, my answer is not original. Of course it's not original. Okay? Because this is not the final answer. The final answer is this one. The 2 was factored from the beginning, and it's going to be really important, put it there. Be careful, because many people make this mistake. Forget the number 2 or any number that was factored from the beginning. Then, guys, these are the exercises. This is the explanation. This is the new method. Thank you. See you.